max. But I also looked up on the corner, and my speaker was turned off. So it's like, let's say if I wanted to send you music, I would set it in settings. But if I don't want to hear it, I could shut it off for me. It's really weird.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The View from Here Behind Enemy Lines. Mike is just talking. We had trouble hooking up with each other here. He could not hear me. He could see me finally, but he couldn't hear me because he screwed up on his end.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was successful, so I'm stuck.
What the hell are you doing? What is that, a clown or a magician's handkerchief you got stuck in there?
It's called the Booger Vault.
Oh, God. Anyway, I got a vent about something. This is the second one of these things I've got. You see what that says?
Yeah.
Okay. These people are liars. They are fucking liars. It comes from a place called, paid for by Unrig our economy. Now, they are lying here because they are against Tom Kean, who is my congressman. They're saying he voted to cut $600 billion from Medicaid. The bill would lead to 10 million people losing their health insurance and put 15,000 people in our community at risk of losing coverage.
Excuse me, but are those 10 million people citizens of the United States?
That's what I'm saying. The only people who are getting Medicaid cuts are illegal aliens who shouldn't be getting it anyway. That pisses me off.
Wait, I'm confused. Illegals, doesn't that mean that they're breaking the law by being here?
Yes, exactly.
Then what the hell are they doing getting care in the first place?
They're further breaking the law by collecting money that should be going to help Americans, such as myself, you, others. Okay, Medicaid should be for citizens and legal residents, not for illegals, not for people who were not invited. Well, they were invited by the Biden administration, but not for people who shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be here.
When a criminal opens the door of a store and invites you in, it doesn't give you a right to be there.
Well, if you were going there anyway and you normally go in.
No, I'm saying that's true. And if they're not breaking and entering, in my metaphor, he's broken in. And if a criminal
it's like the scene in Godfather 2, where Clemenza says, you forgot the key. And Jimmy's opened the lock and he goes, Vito, come on in. He's inviting him in, even though Vito just saw him break open the door.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
That was in Godfather 1. Same character, though.
And that was also an impromptu thing. That was not in the script.
I remember reading that. Okay. Anyway, these people, I haven't had a chance to look up who's in there, but paid for by Unrig our economy. I guarantee you they are Democrats, and I wouldn't be surprised if money to them has come from Soros or from that faggot who runs the log cabin Republicans. I forget his name. All right.
Well,
he claims to be a Republican, but he's a rhino, and he's a scumbag.
I get stuff over and over again telling me that my warranty on my car is going to wear out.
Oh, I'm getting that. I've gotten that for a car I haven't had in 4 years.
And the reason why they don't know that is because they don't have any relationship with the company that I bought it from. And I called up Hyundai, and they said, "Yeah, you're registered. You got 10 years. Whatever it is. So it's good."
I like your car. I don't normally like blue cars, but the one you got is really cool. I like it. Maybe it's because the blue goes with that design. I don't know. But most of the blue cars these days I don't care for.
Well, the thing is that there was a basic version which was $2,400 cheaper, and then there was the deluxeified one, which was the two-tone, and it also included a couple of other things like heated seats and things like that. The car is a good car. I have a Venue. It's getting anywhere from about 35 to 36 miles to the gallon for, if you average it all out. I've gotten as much as 39 miles to the gallon on the highway. But the most important thing was I have this amazing warranty and I have 0% financing. That's the best. no matter what the car is, if you don't have to pay any percentage on the loan, that's a wonderful thing to buy.
True.
0%.
True.
I had 815 FICO at the time. I don't know what it is now, but every time I check, it's like about 813, 820, goes up and down.
Cool.
Are we going to talk about our buddy, Mr. Bezos?
That scumbag, Jeff Bezos? I can call him that because I no longer work for him, so I can be honest. That scumbag, you go down to Amazon, they are selling a plethora of items that have 8747 on them. Okay?
Right. I think it should be 8746. Or 8745. No, 44. That's right.
What about 87 Bezos? I still don't believe that he sent those women up to space. That could have been a whole setup there, or they were high enough to lose gravity, maybe. But you can do that in an airplane. That's how they train astronauts, in fact.
Well,
and, anyway, when they came down, did you see the bullshit that happened on the ground? They went over. Bezos opened the door from the inside, but then they said no. They kept filming it, but they said no, it's not supposed to be that way. So they closed the door. No, somebody else from inside opened it. I mean, they closed the door. Then some guy comes up on camera, gives Bezos a special key. He inserts the key and unlocks the door. First off, if there was an emergency, how would the astronauts get out if there was no way to open it from the inside? One. Two, he wanted to be there opening the capsule to let them out and so forth, which is, just grandstanding.
Well,
three, they have it on camera. They showed the ladies inside opening the door, then they close it again for the shot. Okay, it's all bullshit.
Well, they have cameras inside. They're going to monitor the inside. Here's the thing. I don't see it as an impossibility. I mean, it's been done before. People have gone up. They pay for those rides. They just gave it for free. And you say, and if you say there's no way of them escaping the module on their own, well, if you're sending people up in space that have no experience and they're just taking a ride, maybe I don't want them to be able to, at will, open up the freaking door into space.
Let me ask you this: was there a pilot on this flight, or was this guided from remotely from the ground?
It up and it drops down. There's no pilot. It's just, it's a rocket.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's like they went on a ride at a carnival.
Yeah,
a very expensive ride.
Well, clearly he needed the PR.
Yeah, no, your wallet has to be this high for you to ride this.
Well, ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would cost to send your ass up. But
Anyway.
given money, yeah.
Well, he's got enough money, and now the piece of shit is making more money back on that because he's selling shirts and other things to that encourage people to do something harmful to our president. So Jeff Bezos, you're a piece of shit for allowing that. I don't know freedom of speech, freedom of expression, this and that, but why so many items? You're gleefully selling them. The Democrats must be buying them up like crazy.
Bottom line is, it's all about profit. He doesn't give a shit about your ethics.
Okay, on the one hand, I'm torn now because I am a capitalist, and I agree that he should be able to sell whatever he wants. But why don't I get the same? Why don't we get the same thing? Like if we want to sell a gun we have to somebody, why do we have to go through hoops and
we should make maybe we should make a T-shirt that says 8644. 86 AOL. How about if we have the
the Democrat Party?
WET, the White Entertainment.
White Entertainment? No, there's no such thing. There's a Black Entertainment channel, but I've never seen a White Entertainment channel. Speaking of discrimination, did you see that straight white woman who was fired by her gay boss because she was straight?
Oh, that's
the Supreme Court said no, that's a no.
Yeah. because the problem was the Supreme Court addressed the fact that just because you're not a recognized oppressed minority doesn't mean that you have to prove more so than the minority that you've been wronged. They wanted the woman that was being put upon, that they wanted her to show a trending of this behavior over a period of time to prove that the employer was, in fact, prejudiced.
Right, which is something that minorities don't have to do, but it's been the law oppressing white people, basically.
Well, they've overridden that. They now say that everybody has to show the same type of evidence. That's it.
Now, the funny thing is, first off, it was a unanimous decision. Secondly, the opinion was written by none other than Katanji-Brown.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, and we got a threesome on this one too. There was an anti-gun thing that was knocked down, also unanimously, and that opinion was written by, what's her name, Kagan, I think.
Oh.
And then the third one, I forget what it was. It was also something that you would think that the liberals on the court would oppose. But you want to talk?
Go ahead. This is
unanimous. It was unanimous also. But Sottomayor wrote the opinion for the court. So all three of the most liberal judges agreed with the rest of the court, and they wrote the opinion knocking these things down. The left must be screaming.
Oh, by the way, the gentleman who supposedly is the Prime Minister of Canada, they're reviewing all the records, all the votes, to see whether or not he was elected legally. And
Carney, they rigged that election.
No. Yeah, but the thing is, they've already found large amounts of information to prove that this district, he didn't win in this district, that district, the other thing. These people had no right. These things were late. I'm telling you, there is a very, very good chance that he's going to get his ass knocked out.
I hope so. I hope he winds up in jail. And you know what? Just for us bringing this up, neither of us is welcome in Canada right now because the Mounties might welcome us with handcuffs. Just for speaking out. Citizens of Canada cannot speak against their political leader. They'll go to jail. Why should we? What?
Come to Pennsylvania. I'll be happy to say hello to that group.
No, but they won't. They'll wait till you cross over the border.
Why the fuck would I want to go to a place where there's only hockey players and whores?
Well, there is British Columbia, which really wants to, or Vancouver, whatever, that area there, that out west, they want to be part of the United States, but not. Oh, and Saskatchewan too. My cousin who lives up there tells me Saskatchewan would also love to be part of the states. Rather than
me.
What? Why am I on the phone with you? We're still on the phone. Okay, I just hung it up. We were having trouble with the getting the podcast going before.
It's that dementia kicking in real hard. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta plug this in before it dies.
That's what she's
back in a sec.
So there's a lot going on, and then you have Elon Musk and Trump supposedly at odds with each other, which is not good. But I have a theory. Elon Musk has been getting a lot of flack from the left, and his cars have been attacked, etc., etc.
I've seen
my theory is that this is all a sham to make him look like an anti-Trumper, so that would take some of the pressure off of Tesla.
Possibly, because remember, Trump did not attack him savagely, especially after Elon said that, he's in the Epstein files. And first off, let's say Trump has to be in the Epstein files because in 2015, he was interviewed, and I saw it earlier today. He was interviewed and saying that that island was a horror, and it was a cesspool. cesspool. And he said in 2015, before anybody else was talking about, just ask Prince Edward. Okay, and a lawyer, I don't know who the guy was, but he was interviewed and he said that Donald Trump was the only person of all the people who were subpoenaed about Epstein. Donald Trump was the only one to answer the subpoena and to be willing to answer any and all questions. It is a snot rag. Oh, you're disgusting.
Hey, I gotta blow my nose. You know it's that crap from Canada coming down in the air.
I have a tissue ready just in case.
Right. That's disgusting.
I won't. I don't. I used to hate that with the handkerchiefs years ago. We were brought up that way, But it was bad because I used to see my grandfather blow his nose, and even my father. But then, when you were a kid, if you got hurt and you're crying, they take out the handkerchief and they dry your tears.
It's called being a human. Human beings burp, they fart.
They probably helped our immune systems.
And to be honest with you, out of all of them, blowing your nose is the least of an issue. Unless, of course, you're sneezing on somebody, then it's not a good day. But the smoke from Canada, regardless of what they tell you, is affecting me. And it's starting to go away because it's passed to some degree. But I'm still dealing with congestion.
2 nights ago, I slept, as I usually do, although tonight I don't think so because it's going to be in the 80s. But I slept with the windows open, and in the morning I had some, like my throat felt a little funny, and I heard something about wildfires. I didn't realize it was up in Canada, and that stuff was drifting down to us.
Yeah, it's in the upper atmosphere, but it is affecting us, and it's probably still there, but it's probably reached a point where it's weaker now. But yeah, for the last 3 or 4 days, I've had a sore throat, and it's, what else can you blame?
Right.
So
Canada is not giving us anything good these days.
So let's see. We talked about Canada. We talked about Bezos. We talked about all these things.
Oh, let's talk about real quick.
Elon
Musk is claiming that the big beautiful bill is bad because it's increasing spending and so forth. However, Doge, and I agree with Doge, only caught, what was it, $300-something billion or $500-something billion in cuts, which are not going to be implemented here, not till the budget comes around. Was this a reconciliation bill, not a budget bill? There's a difference. You can't cut certain things on the reconciliation. However, they're saying that there are 1.7. Trump was announcing that it gives $1.7 trillion in cuts over 10 years. But the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, which is no friend of Trump, it's very, very partisan, very Democrat. They don't want to say this, but they are estimating that the bill cuts between $2.7 and $2.8 trillion off the budget. I don't know what time frame they're talking. I don't know if it's 5 years or 10 years, but 2.8, that's even way more than Trump is saying it cuts. So we are getting cuts. And then when the budget comes around, then we'll see if there are going to be any cuts or not, because we're going to need 61 votes to.
I haven't looked. I found out about it just about an hour ago, so I haven't looked into it. But I came across a blurb, and it said Trump has made a deal with China. They've made agreements to visit each other's country.
Well, I didn't know that. I heard that there was Trump announced there was an agreement, but there were no details about it. So we don't know if the agreement is on the tariffs. We don't know if the agreement is only on those certain minerals.
Early stages. Just the fact that they're talking is enough.
Yeah, it might be an agreement on certain minerals. Okay, like we need certain minerals there, so we won't tariff them because we really need that.
Let's get real here. Trump put his hand out first. Now, if China never reached out for that hand,
Mm-hmm.
then China would have been declaring that they feel they're in such a strong position they do not have to negotiate.
Yeah.
If they are negotiating, they're either probing or they actually are truly negotiating. I'm presuming that there's a little bit of both.
Did
So
you ever?
the thing is that what I was trying to say is that China, in my opinion, to the world has made it clear that they're not quite as unmovable as they like to the world to have thought in the past, that they're not holding all the cards. And the thing is that if the rest of the world agrees with Trump and makes deals with Trump, Trump can literally bypass them production wise. He can ask European companies to make up for whatever it is that they need. South American companies, I think Milei would be more than happy to do business with Trump. The thing is that Trump, with these tariffs, has created some very strong political positions.
Mm-hmm.
And getting back to Musk and Trump, here's what I really think about the two of them. Let's say they are going head to head. I think neither of them is as correct as they'd like to be. So somewhere along the line, there's going to be a middle ground. Nobody's going to be completely happy.
Yeah.
It's like going on a honeymoon and it rains all the time. You're still on
It gives you more chance to do what you're supposed to do on honeymoon.
it sucks, So the point is that it's not all bad, but it's certainly not as good as you want it to be.
Yeah.
So I think that Trump is reaching for the golden plum, okay? And so is Elon. Elon saw the belly of the beast and said, "Here, I give this to you." Unfortunately, because of the politics and because of all the ingrained corruption, it's going to take a great deal of time for anything big to happen.
Well, Elon is also opposed to the tax cuts becoming permanent, and if they don't become permanent, our taxes, everybody's taxes, are going to go up. The Democrats will have you believe it's only tax cuts for the rich. That's bullshit. Okay, everybody was paying more taxes before the Trump tax cuts in his first term,
Yep.
and it's continuing. They're going to run out unless they are made permanent with this bill.
I used to get a return of about $400 or $500.
Mm-hmm.
Now my return covers my accountant. That's it. I get 125. Same guy, same
Since the tax cuts went in.
Since when Biden was in, my tax dropped. My returns dropped, and so I saw a loss of that. And it used to be that income tax had one thing going for it. At some point, you get a nice little juicy check of $500 or more, and you could do something with that. But I don't get anything.
Yeah,
I got $135, and it cost me $125 from my accountant. I got $10.
right.
Now, there was a time where I actually had to pay. I didn't. My. Unfortunately, it's gone a little bit backwards. But
yeah.
So, the thing is that is Trump God? No, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to do choices that bear fruit, but at the same time, he is juggling so many balls, and I don't mean that in a sexual manner. He's juggling so many events. He's reforming this country in so many different arenas that his his cabinet has got to stay on top of whatever it is that he misses.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I misspoke before. I said 2.8 trillion in cuts, not in cuts, in deficit reduction, which is more important.
That's great.
Okay, deficit reduction. Our deficit is at about 36 trillion. So if they're cutting almost 3 trillion, that's a big cut.
They found 5 million Social Security payments that were illegal, and hopefully they stopped those. So that means Social Security should not be as much in jeopardy as it was before.
Yeah, but the lying Democrats are telling you, oh, people are losing their Social Security. They're cutting Social Security. Bullshit. These Social Security payments that shouldn't be made should be going to people who are supposed to get them.
Well,
that's why our Social Security is shit.
They are correct in the fact that there are people losing their Social Security, but they're not three-dimensional living people. They're virtual people. They're people on paper only.
No, there are some who are real, but they are illegals. Okay, and even those virtual people, somebody's pocketing all that money. Okay,
150 years old, born during the Civil War.
Yeah, one guy supposedly.
I mean, come on, man. And then the weird thing is we've got all this information in a cave, in Pennsylvania near Butler.
Well, probably several caves throughout the country.
But I mean, come on. I don't have a problem with you having it in a secure location. And if a cave is a secure location for you, that's fine. But they're doing all the paperwork by hand. They have no computerization. And you know why? Because you'd be able to access it and find out that they're stealing 5 million names are stealing every month.
Yeah, well, a lot of money is being sold. Look, if we would cut out just the theft from Social Security, the people like myself who are receiving Social Security would get a much higher Social Security pension. And it would fund Social Security for a lot more years than they're saying it'll last at this rate.
The Butler attempted assassination has been reopened because, and I heard a piece of this from one of the congressmen talking. He went through a short list of impossibilities. In other words, scopious evidence, proof, evidence of the type that implies that we should dig a little deeper. So, like they were talking about, this guy, what the hell, Crook of all things is a great name.
Thomas Crooks.
Yeah. That, he had a rangefinder, which I didn't realize was expensive and hard to come by. He had he was on the roof. It was very visible. Supposedly, the reason why our agents weren't on the roof was because the slope was too dangerous.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you look at the footage, the slope where the two snipers were was a lot steeper than the roof where Crooks was.
I've worked on roofs steeper than that.
I've been up on roofs steeper than that too, and I hate it.
Well, the other thing is he ran his drone. They heard him on inside walking around. The agents that's supposed to have arrested him were in the building that he was laying on.
Yeah.
So
instead of having somebody up on the roof, they were all inside.
And then the fact that Thomas Crook was in a BlackRock commercial?
Oh yeah, with what's his name, the chief of BlackRock, Larry Fine or whatever his name is.
Several FBI agents visited him. That he
practiced 30 times at the FBI thing.
And he also practiced his gunnery at a what is that Homeland Security location.
Facility. Yeah.
But hey, nothing to see here.
Yeah, exactly. Plus there were people who I remember seeing footage of people saying, "Who's this guy?" They saw him climbing up on the thing, and nobody stopped him.
Well, there was a cop that went up there and looked at him. Like,
and then he pointed the gun at him, and the cop came down and didn't do shit after that. That's when you got to get on the horn and say, "Hey, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle."
That's when you count to 10, you pop yourself up and throw some rounds down there.
Exactly. But
pop, pop, pop. You either hit him or you get some attention. In either case, it all works. What the fuck are you doing up there?
I mean, even if he didn't put his head up, put the gun down with the slope, it's not going to hit the president. It'll go up. So you fire at least one shot that way, and then you get everybody's attention.
It's just, it's like
I hope that some people get caught for whatever it was they did wrong and pay for it legally.
The woman that was in charge of the Secret Service was useless.
Yeah, she was totally fucked. She made it a point that she was going DEI with her hires. And meanwhile, she's hiring these short, fat, out of shape women who couldn't do a damn thing. The only way they could protect the president, they got so much bulk. If they got in front of him, maybe the rounds wouldn't go through them.
Well, the thing is that the one didn't her a gun. But another interesting thing was that oh my God, I had something to add to it and I lost it.
Sorry,
but no, that's okay. It happens. But the thing is, like, yeah, quite a mess. And of course, the group that we sent to investigate, pretty much 90% Democrat, right? Was Cheney on that?
Oh,
okay. That's right. She was busy screwing.
No, she was on the January 6th committee. Her and Adam Kinzinger, that jerk off from Arizona, who's a scumbag.
Yep.
It's a rhino piece of crap. Oh, by the way, going back to China for a moment, I was listening to Mike Rowe's podcast. What was it called? The Way I Heard It. And he had on that guy. You ever see those commercials for the Epoch Times?
Yes.
The guy with the glasses coming on?
Roman.
His name is Jan something. I forget his last name. He is the editor-in-chief, apparently. And he was being interviewed, and he was talking about how China, first off in Tiananmen Square, that whole thing ended up with 5,000 people being killed by the government to stop the real insurrection. And anyway, he was talking about how in China they have the Falun Gong are not just a small cult. People think Falun Gong is just a religious cult. No. The Communist Chinese Party has 60 million members. The Falun Gong has between 80 and 100 million members. They are not a cult. And they espouse a healthy lifestyle and so forth, and exercise, meditation, things like that. And they believe in a God, which, communists can't have a God. All right, so
yes, they can.
They've been persecuting the Falun Gong for years and imprisoning them. Now, they have been organ harvesting the Falun Gong, and now they started organ harvesting the Uyghurs, okay, who are Chinese Muslims.
Yeah.
And while I don't care for Muslims in general, because they are intolerant of anyone else in general, I don't think that they should be harvested for their organs. That's brutal. That's genocide.
Maybe the Chinese Muslims have a different, way of being. Maybe they're
maybe they're better.
Yeah, you can't be worse.
Yeah, they might get along with everybody else.
Actually, after they've been treated the way they've been treated, they're going to be very, very nice to anybody who treats them nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so China, to get back to my point, China is in a lot more trouble than people think. And the guy was saying that when they had the Olympics there, all right, that if they wouldn't allow you to go outside a certain area. Because if you went just a few blocks away from where the Olympics are being held, you would see poverty that would rival what you see on the streets of San Francisco, Seattle, and other American cities, Philadelphia. You would see that people with no clothes, people, kids trying to warm themselves by a fire, stuff like that, because there's no heat. Buildings didn't have windows. It's a cesspool. And China puts up this big front that everything's cool. Meanwhile, they're building all these huge buildings, apartment buildings, trying to build smart cities, and they have no tenants for them because the people out in the countryside are resisting moving into the city.
Understandable.
Okay, where they'd be trapped.
Like they did during the COVID time, they actually welded shut the entry doors to the apartments. They could not leave the apartment.
Yeah. And how many people died because of that?
That many of the factories in China have nets at the base to catch people trying to commit suicide.
Is that China or is that in Japan?
China.
China?
China.
Oh, okay. I heard from somebody that it was Japan. I thought it was China originally, but
no. The Japanese, if ever they feel suicidal, they'll go to a vending machine and buy little girls' underwear.
By what?
They actually have that in Japan. They have like little teenage girls' underwear for sale in vending machines.
Oh no, the Japanese young Japanese males are having affairs with AI women. Yeah.
You're all over the place.
Who?
You're
another thing I heard. You know that your voice is all screwed up. Your picture's screwed up. I hope it comes out okay.
They really would.
Find the recording. Anyway, who's that Italian guy who the left loves because he killed the United States CEO? Mangione or something like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. You were gone for a while. You can't
see me? Oh, man. Shoot. Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on. Let me pause this. Well, I paused it for a moment to see if we could sync again. You're still moving. You're out of focus right now. Wait a minute. Well, it says 1% uploading. What the hell? We're not uploading this?
No, you're not uploading. Whoa. I'm fine.
It says 1% uploaded.
That's great.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Anyway.
That's for sure.
That guy who killed the CEO of United Healthcare, he had originally planned, it was in the notebook that he had like a little manifesto, that he was originally planning a mass extinction attack. But he said, no, that kills too many innocent people and so forth. So he wanted to kill the CEO of Humana at a conference that they were there because it sent the message. Can you hear anything I said?
Yeah, it sent a message.
I can't hear what you're saying. It's coming through garbled.
Okay.
Oh, man. Should we cut this right now?
My speaker
Mike,
is on.
I'm not getting a good picture of you. You're intermittent, and fine. I can't hear. Oh, now I can hear you.
Whoa. Oh, okay.
All right, Mike just closed his part of the studio. He'll be back, I'm sure. Something's wrong with the recording here today. I don't know what. And it's showing that only 1% of what we recorded is uploaded so far. I don't know what's going on. Let me pause this a moment. All right, we're back. Mike got back on here. I don't know if we fixed the problem we had. It seems like the recording's not uploading. I don't know if this is ever going to get on air.
Well, now it's uploading. 53%, 47, 51, 55.
I've got 1%. Let me leave the studio a moment. And oh no, I can't.
I'm uploading 73%. Hello. It's going up.
Mine is only at 1%.
Well, you don't count. 80. It's weird. It goes up and then it goes down again. It's like 84, then 70.
I don't know what's going on here today.
Well, it's slowly going up.
Jeez.
It does say that we've been recording for 40 minutes and 44 seconds.
I got 40 minutes, 14 seconds, maybe because I paused it. And it says only 1% uploading. I hope I don't have to leave this thing open for an hour until I upload the whole thing.
Well, if you do, you do.
Yeah, if I do, I do.
So are we recording now?
I have well, I'm recording now, but maybe I should stop and we should start another one and then I can just edit it and put them together.
Well, why don't you stop and let it try to recover on its own while we're talking to each other?
We'll do that.